Welcome to SHOWstudio's Fashion Radio, the podcast and video series exploring the remarkable relationship between fashion and music. Every week, I'll be joined by fashion's biggest names and the talent of tomorrow as they share their 10 life-defining tunes and the stories behind them. I'm your host, DJ Fat Tony. My next guest is the legendary stylist. In fact, he might just be today's best. The visionary image architect behind some of Megan Thee Stallion, Celine Dion, and of course Zendaya's most iconic red carpet looks. He's no stranger to orchestrating a viral fashion moment. With an unwavering dedication and an unapologetic commitment to fashion, he's mastered the art of archival dressing by breathing new life into iconic designs by Mugler, McQueen, and many, many more. I'm talking about none other than Law Roach.
Well, I think I became a cunt because I didn't want people to invite me to their birthday party. If I'm a cunt, then it's a less likely chance that people will actually invite me to places because I really just don't want to go.
We've got so much in common. So what a great way to start a fucking podcast with the word cunt. And that's what I say.
Yeah. I'm so, like, my zodiac is Cancer. And so I really enjoy being left alone and at home by myself. And the more popular you become, the more people expect to see you places and the more invites you get. And I was like, I just want to, just create this really bitchy, cunty persona where people are like, oh, he's nasty. And I can be, but my soul isn't that. And when people get to know them, like, oh, I'm going to tell everybody you're such a nice person. I'm like, you fucking bet not dare tell people that I'm a nice person.
I worked hard at being
being a cunt.
Yeah.
It's just like, I just really don't want to get the invite.
When did you decide that you wanted to do the job that you do?
I've always had aspiration to be in fashion and to be great at it. But it just seems so far removed from how I grew up and where I came from. I grew up in Chicago, so we didn't have a lot of industry. We didn't have a lot of industry people. And it just didn't seem attainable. And when I figured out it was attainable, I'm like, oh, let me jump into this and go as hard as I possibly can and, make waves and dents and hopefully change the industry a little bit.
I think you've done all of those things.
Yeah.
Because you really are the goat of it at the moment. When was the realization that you actually got to that level?
You know what? To be quite honest, I still feel new sometimes. I'm not crazy. I know, like, I'm recognizable, the TV thing, and the work that I do on the red carpet and editorials. I get it, but sometimes I still feel new or separate. To it all.
And have you always been into fashion?
I was into adjacent. I think being Black in America, like, you just, like, fashion and clothes is just part of our DNA. But, high fashion in the world of fashion didn't feel, again, obtainable to me because I'm literally a street kid from Chicago.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, done everything and anything I had to do and survive in the streets, but I didn't always, fly. You know what I mean? It's like whether that was like Air Jordans and Francisco Jabot and, those things until hip hop came around and then we wanted, the Dior's of the world and all that. So I've always done that and had that, but to make a living and to have a viable, lifestyle from it, that came a little bit later.
When you used to be on Legendary, you were the only good thing about fucking Legendary. I used to watch
because
Legendary.
I was a cunt.
Yes. But you gave it the edge that it needed.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, Jack and all those guys, I love.
Yeah.
And, the whole house, all the houses, I've been around voguing from the days of Willie Ninja. I loved Willie. I loved all of those kids when I used to live in New York, and back in the 80s, I know I don't look old enough, but the thing about it is, for me, Legendary was such a buzz because I always think, oh, what's she going to say next? What's going to come out?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just being honest. I'm thinking, like, these kids have been... They have been underground for so long, right? And my persona on that show is the closest was, to me, outside of Leomi and Deshaun, it was the closest thing to what ballroom really is, right? Ballroom don't hold no punches. Ballroom is very slick slick tongued and quick wit, and that's just who I am. And although I never was in a house, but I've been going to balls for 20 years, and so and it's part of who I am. I'm gonna tell you if it's wrong, it's wrong, but also I love hard, and I wanted those kids to fight for it so that they can get the opportunities that they get now. It's just a shame that the show got canceled because
it is a real shame.
It did a lot. It brought a culture, an underground culture to the mainstream, and I think they deserve that. I can say that my persona brought the viewers in that brought the opportunities for the people that were on the show. And I'm so proud of that.
You held the keys.
Yeah.
You had the keys to that door and you opened that door. Trust me.
I did.
You did. No, you did.
I was just plugged in to Simon Cowell, you know, and we have the same type of personalities. Like, he's an expert at what he did. I'm a true expert at what I did. So, you know, I was cunty, but I also had the qualifications to be cunty, which made it, you know, right.
Yeah. So answer me this, right?
Yes.
How does a kid from Chicago go on to archive, find the archive of Mugler?
Yeah.
Tell me.
I fucked my way to the top. No, I didn't. I worked my ass off. You know, it's just...
You're a grafter, right?
Yeah. It's just it was just a dream come true. And, you know, just... I think what I've been able to do is, you know, build people's confidence in me. You know, if they give me a shot, that I'm gonna give them a return on their investment and, you know, a return on their risk. So I think now for me to be able to go to and literally pull one of the most iconic archive piece in fashion, period, you know, is the testament.
But I'll tell you what is testament to that. It's the fact that you not only pulled it, right, but you pulled it out the fucking bag. Everything about that look was incredible. But
that's also her.
Yeah,
like,
of course.
I've been with her since she was 13 years old.
Yeah, but you saw that quality in her and you know she can carry that.
Yeah, so I've been with her since she was 13, 14 years old. So we've grown together. We've experienced this together.
It shows.
As brother and sister, as, you know, muse, creative, as soulmates, as all these things. And she's been like that her whole life. And what I did over the years is just help to elevate it, like any big brother would, right?
Yeah.
And so we have this relationship, this symbiotic relationship where where I'm big idea and she's small details.
Yeah.
So my big idea was this grandiose, like, oh, let's go for it. And she takes it and she brings it to the level that makes it pliable for everybody. So it's just our relationship is just incredible.
Because it was like she wasn't put in it. She was it.
Yeah, she was it.
She was it.
The way she was moving.
Listen,
yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
It was Mugler.
Yeah.
It was everything that he would have loved.
Yeah.
He would have seen her in that. He would have loved that.
I know, and that's what I was told. And that brought us so much joy. I forgot his partner. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name right now, but he texted me and he said that Terry would have been proud.
Oh, Terry would have loved it. It would have literally, trust me.
Yeah.
I knew that queen.
Yeah.
Like all of us knew that queen.
Yeah.
And that would have been just like the most incredible moment.
So our only regret is that we didn't get to have the moment when he was still here.
Yeah.
And we actually thought it wouldn't happen because he wasn't still here. But, you know, Casey and his team were very... It took some convincing, a couple meetings and, you know... But he said yes, and to me, that's literally one of the biggest pop culture fashion moments of the decade.
Well, you know, when George Michael did it in the Too Funky video, and he had all the girls wearing it, and the Mugler came out, it was just beyond anything.
Yeah.
It was a moment in time, and you took that moment in time and brought it to this moment in time, which changed everything.
Thank you.
And you know, that's a really fucking big thing to do.
Thank you.
Right? And, you know, I don't think you'll have any problem pulling anything in the future.
Well, I didn't have any problem pulling anything anyway.
Shut down. Okay, what do you listen to lift your mood?
Well, to be quite honest, I am really a firm believer in the law of attraction and being able to manifest things in your life. So I don't listen to music at all, really. I'm not really a music guy, but sometimes there was there's an author, Rhonda Byrd, who wrote The Secret. She has a follow-up to The Secret called The Power, which gives you the secret and the power behind the secret.
Okay.
And what it is love. And every time I need to be recharged, I put on an audiobook and just listen to her with her, you know, I think she has a British accent and just talk about, you know, love and how love attracts everything in your life. And I figured out years ago that I love being successful, no matter what that is. Yeah. And because I love it so much. I think no matter what I do, whatever I do after this and what I did before this, I always felt like I was successful. So that's what I listen to.
What was the one of the most influential tracks from your childhood growing up?
Music.
Yeah, music track.
So this is the reason. I'll just tell you why I don't listen to music. My mother was chronically depressed and had a lot of drug and alcohol issues. Yeah. And so she would only play music when she was sad. So I grew up, you know, with the feeling that music means sadness, right? I could never find joy in music. So once I figured that out, I just won't listen to it. And when I do, I feel like I get connected to like the soul of the person, and which that scares me. Like I had a really weird, since I'm in London, I had a really weird connection to Amy Winehouse. Yeah. And it was like all that I could almost, in through the music, which a lot of us can hear her pain, but I could also feel it, you know what I mean? And then it brought me to a place of the learned sadness that I had experienced with my mother. So I just kind of shy away from it. It would bring me back to watching my mother sit and drink and be high and just listen to music and cry and cry and cry without any reason. You know, it was just like, and she would do it, and she would just, and I remember, you know, a lot of the songs that she would play. It would be like Aretha, and it was like these really soulful, powerful voices. I try to be in a happy place and keep my sanity and if I know there's something that affects me that way, I just stay away from it. And that's what people too. And that goes back to the point of being a cunt, you know, and having this persona where people automatically judge me and don't like me. And I was like, good. I'm
not even going to ask you the next question, which is what song do you have on repeat? Because we're not going to talk about music anymore. We're going to talk about you instead. Okay, so what artist really inspires your style? Who do you look at and just think, apart from yourself, obviously, but who do you actually think, oh my God?
No, so for me growing up, like the people that really like made me think about fashion, and still to today when I think about fashion, I think of people like Prince. You know, I think of people about Cher. I think about Grace Jones. You know, I think about Lenny Kravitz. I just think people that has this thing, right? It's like, it's so recognizable, but it doesn't feel old. It's just, you know, it's like they're not trying to reinvent themselves, but some type of way they just have and did, you know, especially, you know, of course, Grace in the 80s and the 90s, you know, just 70s, just like, I think she's been on every mood board, and you can see a little bit of her and so many other people that we think of icons. Like you see it in Rihanna, you see it in Gaga, you know what I mean? So it's just like,
but if you didn't see it in them, they wouldn't be as great as they are.
Exactly.
Do you go and say to you?
Yeah.
Because Grace is, you know, have you ever met Grace?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, so you know the power that is there.
Yes.
You know, we think we're cunts, right?
Yes.
When she wants to be like that, you know, that's Grace.
No.
The most scariest person, but she is the most incredibly kind and funny person. Yeah. There's a real force of power within her.
We booked her for Zendaya and I did. Zendaya did a collaboration with Tommy Hilfiger, so we booked Grace to close the show, and I had to go and dress her. I had to take her to close and, you know, do a thing.
Did you just take her the money in the suitcase?
I didn't do that, but I'm sure somebody else did. I brought the clothes, and she asked the door. Bottle of champagne, tits out. Amazing. Like, good morning. It was just like, it was everything that I had dreamt it would be. It was crazy. She was like, I drink champagne to wake up, and I drink champagne to go to sleep. And it was just,
she's amazing.
It was like every little gay dream about her was just kind of fulfilled. It was incredible. And then the way she looked at clothes and talked about clothes, and just, it was incredible.
You mentioned Prince as well. Prince is just, I was on a flight recently, and someone 4 seats in front of me was watching all these like Prince documentaries. And I was like literally leaning across because there were so many moments that I'd forgotten about. And it's just like, whenever I see Prince, it's that power comes back.
Yeah. And it was a power to like this man who seemed outwardly so feminine was literally like one of the most masculine men.
Totally.
You know, and the way that he was so attracted to women, and it was just like it was like this anomaly, like this unicorn that I have never seen existed again since. No. And he was a cunt too.
Oh yeah, amazing. Yeah. Absolutely the funniest person.
Yeah.
It's like literally say, you're going to play that same old shit tonight, and I'd be like, oh.
He says, I really admire people that get to a point that just says whatever they want to say.
Yeah.
You know, just, and I think all the greats had, you know, gotten to that point. Now, with this cancel culture, like it's really unfair that you cannot go against the popular opinion.
What's the most important song you've heard at a catwalk show? So you've been to a few catwalk shows.
I've been to a lot.
What's your, you know, let's not make it about the song. Let's make it about the moment.
Yeah.
What's the best moment at a catwalk show?
You know what? To be quite honest, I was at Alessandro Michele's. It might have been his last show, the Twin Show.
Yeah.
And I cried.
Wow.
That show, it was something so beautiful about the production of that show that I cried. And then I looked around and other people were crying too. It was like, I had been emotional about fashion before, but I don't think I have ever been emotional about fashion. I actually shed a tear. It was something that was so beautiful. And I don't know if it was part of him. It was part of his swan song, and maybe he knew he was leaving. We didn't know at the time, but that show was really, really incredible. And, you know, it was two sides and it was this mirror. So we didn't even know that it was another side. And then, you know, as that mirror was, and then you're like seeing the person across that's sitting in the same seat. It was really incredible. And I will never forget that. And I think that was actually my first Gucci show.
Best music video.
Ooh, best music video.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just want to talk about like archival,
anything
fashion,
from time.
I mean, all of George Michael's videos. I mean, if you really want to go back there.
No, I do really want to go
like
back
Freedom,
there.
Like you.
I really want to go back there because that's for me is like it's never got better. You know, there's two lots of videos for me. There's Missy, right? Mind-blowing videos, and there's George Michael. There were moments in time that are now, and there could be any moment in time, because just the fashion-wise and the direction and the beauty and the simplicity of it. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. And just it's so, you can reference it so much. And that's for me, because I would give anything to have been around that generation. I would give anything to have been able to go to a John Galliano for Do Your Couture show. You know what I mean? Like when I was in the streets of Chicago, like I was seeing those images and that imagery, and just like I didn't know it, but inside of me was saying like, that's what you want to be around. And so when I started to come to fashion, and that's what I was looking for. I was looking for that showmanship and the grandeur and the craziness, and so it was that era for sure.
You know, John G is just, for you know, ups and downs, whatever aside, is one of the most genius is of our time when it comes to
absolutely
to design and fashion and vision. He's a visionary. Him and McQueen. Yeah. But John G just took everything.
I spoke to him.
I spoke
to John last
John's
week.
amazing.
Yeah, we had a phone call. And it was incredible. Just to hear, because I watched the film, I watched the documentary, and so right after that, to hear that voice over the phone, it was incredible.
Yeah,
it was incredible. Yeah,
John's an incredible in person, and so is Lexi. The pair of them together are just a mind blowing. Yeah, you know that last
Lexi set the call up for me. It was, and I was on the phone. I was literally on the phone, like sweating. Like I was, of course, being cool, but I was just like, I was talking to John Galliano, and and it was the voice, and he cunty as well.
Of course,
he's in the cunt society with you and I,
because he's just as vulnerable as you and I.
And it was just amazing, just the questions he asked me, and he was asking me my opinion on a couple of things. I was just like, and I got off the phone, and I was trying to figure out. I'm like, who the fuck can I call Who the fuck can I call to be like, I just got off the phone with John Gotti, so I'm like trying to pull it together. But yeah, it was incredible. Because
you know you have to call the right person.
Because some people, you got to call somebody that's going to be equally excited.
Exactly.
And gets it. Yeah.
Exactly.
And then I called one of my friends and it's like, well, what did he say? And then I was like, and then he said this and he said that. And it was just like, it was absolutely incredible. And it just reminds me of how far I've come, you know, for him to even know my name and know my work. And it's just, you know, it does give power to fashion to say that you can become whoever you want. Do you
have pinch me moments? Do you have moments where you that Galliano moment there?
Oh, absolutely.
Where we're like, you think, oh my God, how did I get here?
Absolutely.
How's this happening?
Absolutely. The Mugler moment to see that in person and to touch it and to put it on, you know, my style partner. Absolutely. I remember I had a moment, I was in the airport years and years ago, and I was walking up to, I saw Edward Innifo in the airport, so I was just going to say, I was going to walk over and say hi. And he turned to me and he was like, Luxury Law. And I was like...
I can hear him saying it. Yeah, go on.
You know my name? You know, and so he embraced me after that and kept, you know, kept in touch with me. And so it's just like those things for the greats, you know.
My next question for you is, what are you wearing? Who are you wearing?
Me.
Yeah, right now.
Right now I'm wearing Junior Watanabe and a thab that I picked up in the Middle East and some vintage cowboy boots that I got off eBay, and I just like to throw shit on.
Yeah. That's do you ever wake up and think, right, what am I wearing today? Or do you just literally throw things on?
No, I just literally throw shit on. And I have a I'm an addict as well. I am a auction.
We all are.
I am an auction eBay
addict, okay.
You know, and with all these new kind of like resale.
Yeah,
I'm obsessed because what it is I like to go and hunt down the stuff that I couldn't afford when I was poor, and it just vindicates me that I can get things that I saw when I was growing up, and it was just so far away from me. So I hunt and hunt until I find it.
You know, I'm the same. You know, so I can ring up and get things for free, and I never want to do that.
Yeah.
My high is going in somewhere and buying what I want to buy.
Yeah.
Because I work really fucking hard to buy that, and I come from a place where we couldn't afford to eat lunch at school. Yeah. We come from a place where my mum did free cleaning jobs and all of this stuff, and you know, people go, why are you buying that? You can get that. And I'm like, no. That's my... Also, there's real quality to wanting... If I want something, I want it there and then. I'm an addict. Yeah. I don't want to wait 3 weeks for you to send me it.
Right. And then you never send me exactly what I want anyway.
And we haven't got that size anymore.
Exactly.
Fuck that, honey. Right. I'm in there the day it comes out.
Exactly.
Do you get what I'm saying? You can give me discount. Yeah. I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Same.
Do you know what I'm saying? But
then it's like I tell people all the time, I'm a consumer.
Yeah.
And our industry, the fashion, we need consumers. And it's like, yeah, I can get, you know, I can ask, I have great relationships with all the houses, but sometimes you also just like the thrill of going in and you have the person that's shopping, you know, and you're helping them out.
100%.
You know, and yeah.
You know, I collect Kim Jones. I've always collected Kim Jones' stuff right way back from Umbro days, right the way up to now. And I buy so much of it. And like, I'm getting married next year and Kim's doing the suits and it's a really big thing. And they're doing all the looks for the day. And you know, for me, that's the biggest honor I could ever have, that Kim Jones is doing my wedding.
Yeah.
Even though I've known Kim since he was like 17.
Yeah.
For me, it's just, he's inspired me throughout life. And every time he goes to a different brand, I go to that brand too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I buy. And he's like, you know, if you ever want it, I'm like, no. I'm happy buying. I'm happy being that person that goes in and buys it because I'm supporting.
And you're supporting him,
100%. Yeah. And also, I get the size I want.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I just recently connected with him. You know, he's
definitely
a person that I had, you know, always looked up to and admired, like, you know, his whole career and the fact that he can work at so many brands to do so many collections. I just think those people are mad scientists, which I love. And I recently took Zendaya to his couture show, and we had a little moment the year before. But we had more of a moment that time, and he sent me like a gift, and he's
such a you know, this is Kim. He's so generous. I get so much for my birthday, And, you know, for him, it's like straight away, as soon as I said I was getting married, he's like, I'm doing the suits. And I was like, well, of course you are.
Yeah.
That goes without saying. There was one designer that you would, that you would want to do your wardrobe, that you would like be like, oh my God, I need a new wardrobe. Who would be that one designer you would go to?
It would be two.
Even better.
It would be Jean-Paul Gaultier.
Oh yeah, of course.
For sure, which I collect as much as possible. And it would be Tom Ford and Gucci. It's
two of the greats.
It's that. And I don't know, I would be happy with wearing nothing else.
Whose wardrobe out of artists would you like to rob?
Yeah, I would love to rob Cher and put it all on Zendaya.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't imagine. And so I got a call from Bob Mackey's team. And they said that Bob would like to meet me. They said because he hates stylists. And it was like, he really loves you. So when I went to go meet him, he's like, you know what? Your relationship with Zendaya reminds me of me and Cher. And, you know, I'm such a pussy sometimes. Like, I'm just like wanting to cry. I was like, because that's what we want the world to see our relationship as, you know, creator and muse. And when he said that, it was just like, and then he let me look at the archives and he let me take a dress and Zendaya wore this dress, and, you know, and there's another dress that it's so funny because he's a cunt too. Yeah, he said it was another dress. I'm like, this dress.
You met Cher?
He said, I met Cher in passing. I haven't really had a real moment with her.
You need a moment with her. She's fucking incredible. I went to Brazil with her for 5 days. And Jean-Paul. Yeah. Me, Jean-Paul, Kate, and Cher, all in Brazil for ANFA.
I would have carried your fucking luggage to go on that show. I would have carried everybody's luggage to go on that fucking show. It was mind-blowing,
and Cher was just the most incredible, brilliant. Yeah. Everything that you wanted her to be. And the first day I met her, Kate was like, meet Cher. And I was like, hi, Cher. Like, literally sitting in bed, me and Kate in the bed, and Cher was sitting at the end of the bed, singing Gypsies, Tramps and Thieves. Kate was making her sing it, and it was like this most surreal moment. And I said to her, will you do me a favour? Because my boyfriend at the time was obsessed by burlesque. And he was like, will you show me the wagon wheel one tootsie? And she was like, get out of here. And I was like, oh, please do it for me. And on the last day as I was leaving the restaurant, she went, Tony. And I was like, what? She went, let me see you do the wagon wheel one tootsie. And I was just like, oh my God, you know, why wasn't my phone in my hand?
Right, yeah.
It was one of those moments. But you're very Cher. She's another one.
Because I just really have an infinity for different eras and the people who created like real pop culture. And my dream with Cher is that when Zendaya does the right film, I really want Cher to style her. Like, I want to go into Cher's archive because they're saying like the presence, the body, everything is really similar, and we always reference her. So it's my dream one day, if Zendaya does a movie, that it makes sense that Cher just dresses, you know. Yeah. I'll be Cher's assistant, and she'll dress Zendaya from her archives, because Bob already told me that she has everything, that she has it all.
But you're going to make that happen.
The universe.
I truly believe that that's going to happen, and it has to happen. The universe is going to. No one's asked Cher to style before, like that I know of. You know, within our industry. Yeah, that's an incredible thing to do, and you know, she makes her own clothes now as well. Really? Like, literally. She had this poncho on in Brazil, and I was like, well, this looks amazing. She went, yeah, I made it. It's like, you're fucking Cher. Right. Where'd you find the time to make a poncho? Right.
But she's fucking Cher, and I can see her making a poncho.
100%.
It's just like that glamour. That was my first idea of what glamour was, and you know, and then Bob, and I sat with him, and he told me so many funny stories, and about Diane Carroll and Diana Ross, and you know, and
Diane Carroll.
I literally just sat, like I wanted to sit at his feet and just talk all day. I sat there for a few hours, and he just told me the most amazing stories, and I was like, how did you do all the Cher costumes, and then Carol Burnett show, and like all these things? And he was like, oh, really, it was just one dress, and we just add shit onto the dress, and it was just like, you know, it was just mind-blowing. And for me, I'm just such a fashion kid. And now, because of social media, it's made us so much easier to have references and pull references and to go through a rabbit hole and, you know, see things you've never seen before. And so it literally was like, you know, Bianca Jagger, Cher, Grace Jones, and then it went to Lil Kim, like Lil Kim and Foxy Brown were, you know, two...
Just Foxy Brown.
But Kim and Foxy were just like those girls, but just in a different way, you know, a little bit more brash and, you know, street and funky. But those were like, that was, you know, the icons of my generation, you know, just... So yeah,
what amazing reference points to have, just, you know, and social media, for all its downside to it, it still has that, the fact that it's in your hand and you can just get whatever you want at any point.
I don't understand how anybody is stupid anymore. You have all the information in your hand.
You know,
you can Google and learn anything. You got Google, YouTube, all the social media. I'm like, how could you be dumb? I built a whole career on referencing other people and showing my love and respect for what people have done before we had a chance to do it. My whole entire career.
There's that word again, love.
Yeah.
And it shines in you. You know, you can really see that you love what you do because you're a master at it without sitting here going, oh, you're blowing smoke up your ass, because that's not what I'm doing. Yeah. But you really are. There's certain people that I've interviewed on these podcasts that are masters at what they do. And you're one of them.
Thank you.
You really are. You are. But that's because there's a real humility to what you do. And what you're doing is you're taking other people's stuff and turning it into something new, which is like all the greats have done. Like everybody goes back in history. Like Vivian would be a referencer of history. Yeah. And she would make it now. Like John Galliano does exactly the same thing. Yeah. Lee McQueen did exactly. All of the greats do those things, those referencing. And that's what you do.
Yeah, because I love it.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring the mood down a little bit, right? Funeral time. What song would you want played at your funeral? Like the big drama. For me, it's got to be about drama. So what would be the songs that you want at your funeral? I love this question because it really makes people squirm.
Okay. Can I switch it and not be...
You can do whatever you want with it.
So I have already planned, like, I have a really close friend, and so I've been planning my funeral for years.
Yeah.
So there is a dress code. Like, I want it to be...
Like there wouldn't be.
So I want to leave all my money so that my funeral can be fabulous. Like, I want a PR team. I want Mariah to sing, you know.
Of course.
Like, I just, I want Celine Dion to sing if I go before her, if I go before Mariah. I have the budget set aside to pay them to perform. I want the biggest PR team. I want like Lucien Page or Automoda to do all the guest lists, and you have to be. I want the women in hats, and I already told Zendaya, you have to have on a sickening black skirt set. Probably a vintage Alexander McQueen, for Givenchy with a big hat with the veil. Like I told her, the reference is Coretta Scott King at Martin Luther King's funeral. Like it's a thing. Like, and I want to pay for it, and I just want, and everybody has, and I want it to be long as fuck. Like I want it to be like 5 hours and just fashion. And I want paparazzi outside catching people come in. On the way I want when some of the great designers has passed away and the models didn't show up. So I want that. But even if you didn't know me, I want you to be invited to the funeral. I want it to be
you want the streets lined, right?
Yes.
Everyone lining the streets on the way.
Yes. Yeah, Edward Interfell's going to do my eulogy. I want shit that you're not supposed to have. I want black cats. I want Black Panthers and, you know what I mean? And like, I want people to be in fur. Everything
head to toe,
yeah. That's
of course. Baby seal.
Yeah, absolutely. Monkey fur. Like shit that's illegal.
Gorilla fur, yeah. So
endangered species. Yeah, I want all of that.
The coffin's got to be draped in an albino lion skin.
Yeah. It's true.
Okay, what's next? What's next? What is next?
So What's next is that, I've really found my power. I was so afraid because I felt like I kind of snuck into the industry a little bit. I didn't have any guidance or infrastructure. So I also, for a long time of my career, few years of my career, I also thought I didn't have any power. And what that means is, I didn't have the power to say no. Yeah. So I would do anything. Like I would do things that I knew I shouldn't be doing. If you would call me and say, hey, Law, can you style my aunt's wedding reception? I'm like, you want me? Yes, I'll come. And I'll make way and I'll come do it and I'll do the best job that I can do. And so now I feel like what's next for me is to walk in my power and walk in the power to say no, the power to say, fuck you, I'm not doing that. And also the power to say, if I do want to do it, then I will do it. So I'm just like, I just feel so free. Finally, like I feel like I'm making my own choices and I'm happy. I'm really, really happy. And then I want to make anybody who wants to become and do what I do, the transition for them a lot easier. Mm-hmm. So I'm working on a platform and a business that can help do that. Like, especially, I mean, it's for everyone, but, especially kids from my country that look like me that feel like it's so far away. I want to bridge the gap a little bit. So I'm working on something to do that.
But the thing about it is those kids, they look at you and they understand where you've come from and they see where you are. That makes it doable for them.
Mm-hmm. Because it matters.
Can I tell you one thing that before we finish this interview is the fact that what I love about you is the fact that when I saw her in that gold Mugler, you were behind. Mm. You were not standing next to her. And I just thought that's class in itself. The fact that it was her moment, but you're behind.
Yeah.
And you don't need to be at the front.
And it's always been like that. And let me tell you, when I am standing side by side with her, it's because she invited me.
Yeah, of course.
That. Yeah, she pulled me into this. She's always been very conscious about as she elevates to elevate me with her. So I would never do. I wouldn't even be in pictures, paparazzi.
No.
I'll be on moving over, and she'll be like, "It's okay." And when she started to, be a bigger star, like when I go to her premiere, she'll be like, "Take pictures with me."
Oh, cool.
So when I am in that space with her, I'm invited.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely invited.
But what I'm saying is the way it was, like when you see it, it's like there's like a real, with a lot of people today saying no names within this industry, they will put themselves in front of her. Yeah. They'll be standing in front of her.
Yeah.
Because they make it about them. Yeah. You weren't making it about you. It was you had magicked that moment, and that was enough.
She makes it about me.
Yeah.
And every time she gets the chance to say my name and what I've contributed to her life and her career, she does. And it just every single time I hear her say my name and speak of me the way she does, it melts my heart. I'll tell you a quick story really quick.
Please.
So the first time I got an award for Stylist of the Year, and I went in and I said this great speech and I did not thank her. And I came and I sat down and I was literally, I looked at her, I was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry I didn't thank you. How could I not thank you? Because I don't write things down. I just like to speak from the heart.
Yeah.
And I said, how could I not thank you? And then she just grabbed my hand. She said, it's okay. I know you love me. And she was 18 years old. And she has so much maturity and so much confidence to say, it's okay. If it was reversed, if she got up and got her award to say my name, I'd have been pissed. Like, ungrateful bitch. But right, exactly. But and that moment has never left me. And it's like, and it also makes me appreciate and work so hard. I'll do anything for her. Uh-huh. And any interview, like if you go back and watch when she a cover and they talk about her style, she always say we. It's always we. It's always me and Law. It's always what he's taught me and how he's shown me these things and how he helped me be confident. And every single time, over and over, she always does that. And every time I hear it, it's just like I'm so grateful that I was blessed to have someone come into my life and vice versa for us to grow and build and just show the world what true loyalty and love looks like.
Well, you've shown us what love looks like in this podcast today. Trust me, the fact that you everything that you've said, I've loved, and it's been real, and you ooze love. There's this real magic about you that there's like a real calmness to who you are, and you're a magnificent cunt.
Thank you.
Don't ever forget it.
Well, thank you. Call me MC for now on.